It took me 30 years to realize what I'm about to share with you in this short video. And if you can grasp this, this is going to change your entire Christian walk. And I know this because it changed mine. There are so many Christians out there that are seeking after so many good things, like more of the love of God, peace, joy, contentment, becoming more like Christ. But these things can be so elusive to so many Christians. What if I was to tell you seeking after these things is actually the very thing that is stopping you from having them? That might not sound like it makes any sense, but listen to this, right? When you're seeking after happiness, what are you telling yourself? What are you focused on? The fact that you're not happy. When you're seeking after love, what are you focused on? The fact that you're not loved. When you're seeking after contentment, what are you focused on? The fact that you're discontent. When you're seeking after being a better Christian, what are you focused on? The fact that you're not at the place that you want to be at in your Christian walk. And the thing is that when you continue to focus on these things over and over again, these things become your identity. And your identity determines the entire lens through which you view the world. And this is the place that you live out of. What if you actually stopped seeking after these things? I know that that sounds scary because you really want these things in your life. And these are good things to desire. But when you realize that seeking after these things is actually the very thing that's stopping you from having them, it makes perfect sense. But you might be thinking to yourself, does this mean that I just resign myself for the rest of my life to never having these things? No. But what you need to realize is at the moment, what you're doing is you are seeking after an emotional experience. And what's happening is your eyes are on yourself. But what does the Bible say? The Bible says that we are to die to ourselves. And this is the thing, that when you die to yourself, all of a sudden you stop caring so much about all of these other things. What you do is you actually put your eyes on God and your entire focus is living for Him. What you're doing is you're picking up the Bible and you're asking God for Him to reveal more of Himself to you. And when He does, you begin to see Him clearer, you begin to see your identity in Him. You see things through the eyes of the Spirit, and your motive, your perspectives, your desires, they all start to change. And then all of a sudden, you're seeing things from a completely different place and your life is transformed. You're no longer seeking after peace and joy and love. You're seeking after God. You're no longer seeking after peace and joy, but you're seeking after the God of peace and joy. And this is a thing, right? As long as you're seeking after those things will be so elusive to you. But once you stop and you start seeking God, it's amazing how everything changes. When you are running after peace and joy and love, those things will always outrun you. But when you're running after God, peace and joy and love and all of those other things will chase you down. It's so backwards to the way that people think, but this is something that just completely clicked for me, and it opened my eyes, and I wondered how I couldn't see it before. I felt like a blind man that was seeing for the first time. So what I want to say to you is make your focus not to seek after these things, but to seek after God alone, to know Him more and who you are in Him. And as you come before Him in faith and He reveals Himself to you, you will be transformed and you will start to see everything around you change. Rather than being like someone who's trying to stick fruit onto a tree and wondering why it's not ripening and it's rather dying, you'll be like a tree that God is working through to produce fruit naturally. So don't worry about any of these other things. Leave them in God's hands. Make your focus seeking God and see how He transforms your life.